The story starts at one New Year's Eve party hosted by Lauren. Her boyfriend, Peter, approaches her and shows her the playlist he prepared for the party. Then he tells her some good news. A big marketing company has offered him a job. But the downside is that he must relocate across the country to get the job. This is a downside because Lauren is about to sign the lease for her dream art gallery, which is located in town. She expected them to stay together as they develop their careers. Lauren's upbeat mood changes because of the news. Peter tells her they're going to talk about it after the party. Lauren decides to drink to numb her frustrations. That's when her good friend Nicole arrives, along with another friend, Tara, who happens to be Lauren's schoolmate in art school. Nicole sees that Lauren is drinking, and the latter can't help but blurt out her frustrations about her boyfriend, who doesn't consider her plans. The trio goes to sit on a comfy sofa on the patio, where a crying girl is seated. Her name is Sydney, and she just got dumped by her boyfriend. For the fourth time, Lauren remarks that it must be the Broken Hearts Club, because not only her and Sydney are having relationship problems. Nicole just got stood up by her date. Tara is just chill and content, browsing a dating app. Nicole tries to appease her newfound friends and says that as women, they must show how strong they are in the face of relationship problems. She changes the name of their group to the Love Club, and this starts a long-lasting friendship and solidarity among them. 10 years pass after this fateful meeting. Lauren gets home with her daughter Stephanie. Following them is Peter, in his car. He's fetching Stephanie because it's her schedule to spend the weekend with him. While the kid is getting her things, Peter sees that Lauren has started using her maiden name, even though the divorce papers are yet to be signed. Lauren says that it's okay to change her name, since they're about to get divorced. After all, she gets things done, like she always has for the past 10 years of their relationship. To understand this rather passive-aggressive communication, we need to understand the context. Lauren and Peter decided to get married shortly after that New Year's Eve party, and welcomed Stephanie as their daughter. During the 10 years of their relationship, Lauren put aside her dreams of owning an art gallery. She focused all of her energy on supporting Peter and his career in marketing, as well as raising Stephanie, and making a wonderful home for the three of them. But it didn't mean that she had totally given up on her dreams. She continued collecting artwork and keeping herself updated with new talented artists. She still nursed the hope that one day, she'd have her own place where she could display her collection. But lately in their relationship, she has felt tired and unsatisfied. Peter has become more focused on work, and Lauren feels that she gave too much to him and left nothing for herself. That's why she decided to divorce her husband. There's no third party involved, only that she's tired of giving without receiving. And now, their lawyers have prepared the papers. They only need to sign to finalize everything. Lauren acknowledges that there are still doubts in her heart about this, so she calls the Love Club for help. Her friends, Nicole, Sydney, and Tara, whom she met during that party, talk to her through a video call, assuring her that they will spend time with her throughout this trying time. And Lauren can only feel grateful to have great friends like them. Eventually, her friends come. Their bond remains as strong as ever, even as their lives have changed for the better. Nicole manages an inn together with her hubby, while Sydney is busy with the restaurant, together with her boyfriend. Tara is still single, despite having a successful career as a singer on cruise ships. They ask Lauren how it has come to this. She explains that she and Peter took some time for themselves, months before the decision to divorce each other. She tells them how she has put her dreams on hold while he chases his. She can't even get a job as an art curator, because she needs to explain that she has been a housewife for 10 years. Tara entices her to look into dating apps to see if she can find someone who can help her forget. Lauren says she's not yet ready, but obliges her friend by swiping through possible candidates. Their expectant smiles turn awkward when they see Peter's profile on the dating app. That's it, Lauren says. She's signing the papers, but it seems like their divorce will be put on hold. The next day, Peter arrives to get the papers. Sydney informs him that wine has been spilled on it, and Lauren assures him that she'll ask her lawyer to come up with a new copy. The atmosphere inside the house is awkward. The three friends were not expecting Peter, because they thought the couple were already living separately. But he still has the key, for convenience. Lauren reminds him that he'll be late for work, and she herself has an interview to attend. After the couple leaves, Nicole turns to her friends and says that there's still hope in getting Lauren and Peter back together. Tara is not so convinced, and Sydney can't decide. But in the end, the three friends decide to go with Nicole's plan, and see if it works. So later that day, Sydney prepares their dinner. Lauren arrives just as Stephanie arrives with Peter. Lauren doesn't want Peter to join them for dinner, but Nicole attempts to invite him, and thankfully Stephanie comes in clutch and asks Lauren if he can stay. She relents to her daughter's wishes. At dinner, it looks like Lauren is the only one who isn't enjoying the company. The other three ladies are doing their best to keep the mood light. Stephanie is simply happy to have both her parents there, and Peter is taking all the dagger looks his wife is sending him. Lauren stands up to get dessert. She wants to end this uncomfortable dinner party. Nicole attempts to create an opportunity to let Lauren and Peter be alone by asking him to help his wife. For Stephanie's sake, Lauren agrees. When the couple and their daughter leave the table, Tara sends accusing looks at Nicole. She defends her actions, saying she felt a little hope that the relationship can still be changed. Sydney thinks otherwise because she felt uncomfortable the whole time. Then they also stand up and bring the plates in. That's when they see the couple getting around the kitchen to prepare the pies. Nicole can see that their movements are still in sync. They're acting as if they're not about to get divorced. This convinces her that the couple still loves each other, but their pride is just getting in the way. They should find a way to make them realize what they truly feel for each other. The next day, Nicole tells Tara that she's determined to help their friend get back with her husband. But Tara has another idea on her mind, and that is to help Lauren move on. That's why when their friend comes down, she asks if she can take pictures of her to create her profile on a dating app. Nicole is not into it, but Tara is already midway into setting up Lauren's profile. Despite Nicole's protests, she agrees that Lauren should start introducing herself as a gallery owner. In fact, she's dressed up because she's meeting a realtor who will be showing her a space available for lease. Tara completely sets up Lauren's account. Lauren is not sure if she's ready for it, but it's exciting to think about it. Later, she meets with the realtor. The space they're visiting is the ground floor of an apartment building. At first glance, Lauren knows this is the space for her. While she's checking the interior, a man walks down the stairs and sees her. To Lauren's eyes, he has an alluring and charming aura that's unique to expressive people. His name is Carlos, an artist living in his studio apartment upstairs. Instantly, Lauren feels a strong attraction towards him. When he leaves, she looks for the realtor and immediately signs the lease. Back at her house, her three friends are still talking about the dating profile Tara set up for Lauren. Her reason for doing it is to help their friend move on, instead of making things uncomfortable by forcing the couple to get back together. But it looks like the dating profile is not necessary, because when Lauren arrives, she excitedly tells them about signing the lease, with the bonus of being close to the hot and eclectic Carlos. She's so excited that she doesn't notice the knowing looks on her friends' faces. Her bubbly mood continues as she goes to her office to do some paperwork. A few hours later, the three friends are still arguing about Lauren's dating chances as they fetch Stephanie from school. The kid may not understand what they're talking about, but she knows that they're there to be with her mom. Throughout this ordeal, it seems like the kid understands her parents' situation, but she knows that they still love each other. Stephanie shares with her mom's friends about her parents' way of sleeping. She says they still sleep on their side of the bed, as if the other part is missing. Before the three friends can elaborate further, Lauren comes back and reminds her daughter of the sleepover with a friend. And she herself has to go to Peter's office to ask if he can loan her the paintings she gave him before. Nicole nudges Sydney to do her part. The latter takes the cue, grabbing the cookie box from Stephanie and giving it to Lauren so she can share it with her husband. Lauren is confused, but she doesn't mind. She goes to her husband's office, but he's not there. She sees the paintings hanging on his office wall and thinks they would fit in her gallery. Impatient for her husband's arrival, she asks his employees about him. She gets her answer when she sees him coming out of an elevator, talking amicably with an attractive woman named Serena. She instantly thinks that her husband may have found her replacement through the dating app. But what she doesn't know is that Peter wasn't the one who set up his account. It's his coworker who did it. And he only took Serena's invitation for coffee because first, he plans to work with her in the marketing industry. And second, he was hurt because he saw Lauren's dating profile. It looks like there's a lot of misunderstanding between the couple. That's hindering their communication with each other. That night, Lauren vents out some of her frustrations by setting up some spaces in the art gallery. Her friends visit her. They admire the ambience of the place, saying it fits the urban chic style that Lauren goes for. Then they notice her bad mood and ask what's wrong. Lauren relays what she saw earlier about her husband. She can't deny that it really upset her. But she sighs bravely and reminds herself that her and Peter's ship has sunk, and soon she'll be free to sail back into the ocean of dating. As if on cue, Carlos comes down and greets the ladies. Nicole, Sydney, and Tara are all mesmerized by the oozing appeal of the man. But Nicole collects herself first. She gets in between Lauren and Carlos, making sure to send a message. Her friend pushes her aside, and Tara chides her for even getting in their way. It seems like for now, the best course of action is to let Lauren enjoy this short time of attention. The next day, Lauren dresses up as she's about to go to her place to fix some things. When she leaves, the three friends are discussing what they'll do. Nicole is persistent in her quest to make her friend see that it's not over yet between her and her husband. At this point, Sydney is on board with Nicole's plans, and Tara simply chooses to quietly go along with it. Sydney says that if there's one person who can get Lauren and Peter back together, it's their daughter, Stephanie. At the would-be gallery, Lauren is busy arranging her paintings when Carlos comes. He gives her a rock sculpture as a gift. He also shares with her a homemade beverage. The sensual tension is so thick in the air that no one could blame Lauren if she gave in. But she controls herself and thinks about her daughter. If she's going to start a new relationship with Carlos after the divorce, then she should be honest with him. She tells him about her daughter and her current situation, which Carlos doesn't judge. When she asks him if he's in any kind of situationship, he simply says that he loves every day, because love is everywhere. This makes her heart flutter, for now. Meanwhile, Sydney is in charge of fetching Stephanie from school. She asks the kid about her plans for her upcoming birthday. Stephanie says she wants her parents to organize it, because the parties are always fun when they work together. Taking this as a hint, and also wanting the best for the kid, Sydney calls Nicole and Tara to do their part, and that is to barge into Peter's office and order him to work with Lauren in organizing the birthday party for their daughter. Peter agrees. Later that day, the husband and wife meet at Lauren's house to ask their daughter for her ideas. Stephanie proposes a gender-neutral party, where there are no stereotypes. The couple immediately pool their ideas together, laughing and reminiscing in the process. It's obvious that Lauren and Peter still have feelings for each other, and they have developed an effective teamwork that's only present in couples in love. Lauren still has some misgivings on whether Peter will attend or not, because she knows how workaholic her husband is. He gives her his word that he'll be there. And indeed, he is. A few days later, Stephanie's birthday party pushes through without a hitch. Each of her friends and guests are enjoying the games Lauren and Peter have set up. At one point, one kid and her mom enter the pool area. Lauren sees the mom and immediately calls her husband for support against her entitled attitude. The poor lady gets trolled by the couple, so she walks out, while Lauren and Peter laugh out loud at their actions. Nicole, Sydney, and Tara see this interaction. They realize there's no denying the chemistry that exists between the husband and wife. It's obvious they still have feelings for each other. They only need more time, effort, and open communications to fix their relationship. If only Lauren could admit to herself that she still loves Peter and tell him what she wants. If only Peter could realize how much Lauren has given him throughout their relationship. Then, they'll know they're good and enough for each other. Lauren receives a notification that lights are going to be delivered in the gallery that day, so she leaves the party with Peter in charge. Later that night, after the event, the father and daughter decide to build a fort in the living room. And that's what Lauren sees when she arrives home. As a unit, the little family looks happy and content. But the parents need to address the issue between them. In a way, they do. At one point, Stephanie goes to her room to get some spare pillows for the fort. Peter asks Lauren to come with him to the kitchen to take a look at some marketing materials he's been working on. Lauren reminds him that she's not her pseudo-assistant anymore. Peter corrects her, saying that she's never been his assistant. It's just that he trusts her to give him sound advice. Then Peter realizes they work well as a team, and wonders where and when the rift started between them. Lauren says it started when their team became Team Peter, when he didn't ask her what she wanted. She never really said anything, he says, to which she replies it's because he stopped asking. He finally understands his shortcomings, and apologizes to Lauren. Their conversation is cut short when Stephanie approaches. Lauren leaves her daughter to Peter and goes home. As it turns out, Stephanie was right. Her parents are still sleeping on their side of the bed, as if waiting for that missing part to come home. The next day, Sydney helps Lauren with some wine packages. Lauren and Peter did wine tasting during their free time. But since the proceedings for the divorce have started, both of them have forgotten to cancel their subscription. Sydney offers to make a charcuterie board to go with the wines, just as Tara comes to them and sees what they're doing. Lauren agrees and gets excited, because she hasn't done any wine tasting with her friends in a long while, but she needs to go to her gallery to oversee the installation of the signboard. Once Lauren leaves, Tara tells Sydney to proceed with the charcuterie board, but it will not be for them. It looks like she's on board with Nicole's plans in sparking the romance between the husband and wife. At her gallery, Lauren looks inspired as she looks at the signboard at her place. This is something she's been waiting for 10 years, and in a few days, all her wishes will come true. Carlos approaches her and congratulates her for the opening of her gallery. To celebrate, he invites her to a date at another art exhibit a few blocks away. Together, they can appreciate several artworks, and Lauren can look out for potential artists for her place. She doesn't agree immediately, but she says she'll think about it. When she comes home, she finds Peter there. Apparently, her friends have taken Stephanie out for pizza. Lauren is aware of what her friends are doing, but it'll be awkward to send Peter away, especially since the table is all set up. They do their wine tasting, and it seems like nothing has changed. They enjoy each other's company, and there's no awkwardness between them. At one point, Peter asks his wife if she has any regrets since that New Year's Eve party 10 years ago. Lauren sincerely says she doesn't have any. They have Stephanie, and they have each other, so she couldn't ask for more. They almost give in to their feelings when Lauren pulls back. To make their wine tasting more exciting, she goes up to her room to get something. She leaves her phone on the sofa, which pings with a notification. Peter sees that Lauren has received a message from someone named Carlos, reminding her of his invitation to a date. Peter gets hurt, knowing that his wife has moved on. So she waits for Lauren to come back before saying goodbye. Lauren is confused about her husband's sudden change in attitude. She feels sad and empty because she wants to spend more time with him. Because of this, she finally agrees to go on a date with Carlos. That night, she wears a sleek gold jumpsuit which she wore during their honeymoon. Lauren looks as fantastic as ever, and her friends are just nearby, showing support to her decision to move on. Lauren and Carlos enjoy looking at the paintings and assuming the story behind each one. Just then, Carlos spots the waitress. He walks towards her and flirts with her, leaving Lauren doing her monologue in front of the painting. Now she understands when Carlos said that love is everywhere. He's not even discreet about appreciating other women when he's with Lauren. She flips her hair as a signal to her friends to help her get out of there. Just then, she sees Peter walking in with Serena. It turns out he invited her for a coffee date at the same place. But his intentions are not romantic. It's purely business, and he chose the place because his colleagues recommended it to him. Lauren laughs awkwardly at something Carlos said, which gets Peter's attention. To calm herself down and think of her next move, she gestures towards her friends to come with her to the restroom. Lauren confirms that the woman with Peter is the same woman she saw several days earlier. They all think that he's really moved on, without even knowing the true story. Together, they brainstorm for possible ways to address the situation. Sydney even volunteers to ring the fire alarm. But Lauren comes up with a plan. She'll pretend to want to go to Carlos's place, and once outside, she'll ditch him. The other women agree. When she gets back to her date, Lauren sees Peter talking to Carlos. As much as possible, she insinuates that her relationship with Carlos now is more than just casual dating. With a suggestive tone, she asks her date to go to his place, to check his new artwork. Peter can only clench his jaws as he looks at his wife and her new lover. He goes back to his date, but he can't concentrate anymore. Apologizing to her, he follows Lauren and Carlos. Once outside, Lauren makes an excuse not to go to Carlos's apartment. To her surprise, Carlos kisses her. It's so unexpected that she simply accepts the kiss. Unfortunately, this is what Peter sees. Lauren chooses to be haughty and defensive. Peter tries to explain that Serena is simply a co-worker. Before he can explain further, Serena comes out and calls him. They both end the night choosing to be proud and hurt, rather than being understanding and open. Lauren has no idea what to do anymore. She tells her friends the next day about what happened. Tara is all for her moving on. She says that at least Lauren has learned to show Peter what he's losing, and that she is now going after her dreams. Everyone knows that she's talking about the art gallery, but the truth is, she doesn't know anymore. As amazing as it sounds to have her own gallery, she doesn't feel satisfied. After 10 years, she finally recognizes the reason why she put her dreams on hold. It's true that she wants to own an art place of her own, but she wants to share it with Peter. The planning, the creation, the launching, every aspect of owning a gallery, Lauren wants to share with him. Because the real reason she put it on hold is because she wants to be with her husband. Because Peter was her dream all along. She can't say that her dreams have come true if he's not in it. The ladies can only give understanding looks for their friend. Lauren thinks it's too late. But Tara and Sydney disagree. She can still tell him how she really feels. Peter has acknowledged his shortcomings in their relationship. It's time for Lauren to set her pride aside and be honest with him. However, it seems like it's too late after all. When Peter drops off Stephanie, he also gives his wife the signed papers for their divorce. Lauren is devastated. If not for the opening of her gallery and the support of her friends, she wouldn't know what to do. Eventually, the day arrives. She bravely puts up a face of determination and calm. But her friends know better. Just then, Stephanie goes to them and asks if they can help her with a favor. She shows them the painting she did during her birthday party. Nicole, Sydney, and Tara look at each other and nod. This is their last chance, their last hope to make things right for their friend. That night, art enthusiasts attend the gallery's opening. Considering it's the first run, the opening is successful. She even manages to sell the rock sculpture that Carlos gave her. To her surprise, she sees Peter entering her place. Strengthening her resolve not to break down in front of him, she greets him, all while Sydney and Nicole are watching from the background. Peter congratulates his wife for putting up the vision she always had for the gallery. Aside from supporting her, he wouldn't miss his daughter's first exhibit of her painting. Lauren is confused about this. Just then, Tara calls their attention. She shows to them a very special painting coming from an important artist. She calls Stephanie, with Nicole and Sydney following her while carrying the painting. Stephanie says she's proud of her mom, who always sees the beauty in everything. She hopes that Lauren will see the beauty in her painting. When it is unveiled, everyone gasps in appreciation. It's a painting of Lauren, Peter, and Stephanie in a hug, surrounded by warm colors. The couple go to their daughter and express their appreciation. Then Carlos comes and nods at them in an amiable way. Peter gets affected and walks out of the gallery. Once he's out, he realizes he can't let go of Lauren. He turns around and sees that she's run after him. She is about to explain something, but Peter chooses to kiss her instead. So, there. They finally get to tell each other their true feelings. What happened in the past days doesn't matter anymore. What matters are the lessons they learned from them, and how they are going to move forward. Peter wants his wife back, and promises her to listen to what she wants. Lauren will always support him, and make sure to communicate. With that, they seal their second chance with a kiss.